Across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands, this is Win News.
Tonight, a murder charge over the killing of a 63-year-old Nowra man. A call for an inquest into the death of barrel student Stuart Kelly. And another piece of aviation history for Haas at Albion Park. Good evening, I'm Geoff Phillips. Also coming up tonight, an estimated 10,000 people walked the bottom of the harbour at Shell Cove. A 31-year-old man remains behind bars tonight after appearing in Nowra court charged with the murder of a man twice his age. The body of Gary James Welsh was discovered in his St Anne Street home in Nowra, with forensic officers piecing together the timeline of events that led to his death.
Flowers on the doormat replace police tape and evidence markers from days before as loved ones farewell Gary James Welch, who was slain in his own home.
The family of Stuart Kelly, who took his life 5 months after orientation night at the elite St Paul's College at Sydney University, is seeking a coronial inquest into his death. Stuart was the younger brother of Thomas Kelly, who tragically died after a one-punch attack in King's Cross in 2012. The Southern Highlands family says it wants to know what happened after they accompanied Stuart to St Paul's College for orientation and left him a bar tab of $50 before heading home. The next day, Stuart called pleading to be picked up from the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital Medical Centre and refused to talk about what happened between when his parents left him and when they picked him up. BlueScope shares have risen more than 2% today on the back of the company's third straight half-yearly profit of more than $500 million. Net profit was up 23%, the Port Kembla Steelworks bumping up the bottom line, but skyrocketing power prices are increasingly becoming a burden.
It's another positive result for the Illawarra's biggest manufacturer, but the boss says there's still room for improvement.
Oh, you're never happy. There's always room for us to improve. But look, what I'm really happy about is that the effort and the sacrifice that's gone into an enormous amount of work as we turn this business around.
An emotional end to a 3-week Supreme Court murder trial, with a jury today finding 30-year-old Wollongong man Bryce Cliff guilty of the 2016 stabbing murder of 16-year-old James Cleghorn in Wagga. Cliff previously dated James' half-sister Proy, with their relationship breaking down some months prior to the killing. James was found with some 30 stab wounds to his body in what prosecutors described as a frenzied attack.
A mother's relief as the 3-week trial of her son's killer comes to a close. The jury today presenting a unanimous guilty verdict.
Police are hunting a man who robbed a Unanderra service station overnight. Police say a Caucasian man of large build and wearing a balaclava entered the service station on the Princess Highway just on 8 and threatened the console operator with a set of bicycle handlebars. The operator handed over cash and cigarettes and the offender ran off. Anyone who can assist police is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Shell Harbour's mayor has thrown Illawarra Regional Airport up as a potential home for a new Qantas pilot academy. The airline is on the hunt for an existing regional airport to house a new pilot school, which it hopes will train up to 500 people a year.
With a relatively quiet airstrip and land in abundance, some say Illawarra Regional Airport is the perfect place for a pilot school.
Coming up next on Win News, Haas takes possession of another aircraft from Australia's aviation history. And were you among the 10,000 people who walked the bottom of the harbour at Shell Cove? Albion Park's Historical Aviation Restoration Society has added another Australian icon to its ever-growing fleet with the arrival of the Fokker Friendship. After a roundabout trip from Auckland, the aircraft arrived today in less than ideal conditions.
A crowd of aviation enthusiasts gathered in dreary conditions at Haas today, awaiting the arrival of the Fokker Friendship.
Echo Whiskey Hotel, this is Haas. Visibility at the field is about 10 kilometres.
Wet roads over the past 48 hours have caused problems on our roads. At West Wollongong, a man suffered minor injuries after he lost control of his ute and struck a light pole on the M1 Princess motorway yesterday afternoon. The ute was badly damaged and it took emergency crews some time to cut away the base of the pole so it could be removed. It took about an hour to clear the wreckage and all lanes on the M1 to reopen. 10,000 Illawarra and Shell Harbour residents have been part of history, walking on the harbour floor of the Shell Cove Marina. The harbour walk was the last time the public will be able to access the floor before it's filled with water.
The streets around the marina were jam-packed with parked cars as crowds swarmed to get a glimpse of the marina.
Monday Sport is next. The Dragons go down to South Sydney in the Charity Shield, and Box Hill becomes the first Victorian team to win the Kiama Sevens. A record Mudgee crowd watched the South Sydney Rabbitohs down St George Illawarra in the Charity Shield, chalking up their 6th straight win in the annual pre-season fixture. The Dragons are now turning their attention to round 1.
The first of 2 visits this year to the Glen Willow complex.
Illawarra Hawks Nick Kay and Mitch Norton have helped Australia move through to the second round of the FIBA World Cup qualification. The pair came off the bench in the Boomers' 88-68 win over Chinese Taipei in Melbourne, Kay finishing with 5 rebounds, 5 assists and 9 points. A devastated Ali Day has fallen at the final hurdle in the Ocean 6 Ironman series. The Warilla Barrick Point product narrowly led Matt Bevilacqua on the overall leaderboard heading into the final race at Cronulla. The pair duelling it out right to the end. Bevilacqua gained the upper hand in the board leg. That is sport. Now thoughts are with Amy tonight, who's recovering at home with a broken ankle after taking a bit of a tumble. Tanya is here now with the weather, and the region has finally received a good drenching.
It certainly has, Geoff. A very welcome sight. We'll find out how long the showers will last after the break.
This weather update, proudly brought to you by the new Toyota Prado. Luxury that goes anywhere.
Hello again. A cool day across the region with temperatures sitting well below average. Our weather shot for tonight is thanks to Peter from Bundanoon, who captured a rain band over the Moreton National Park. If you've taken a weather photo you'd like to see up on screen, you can email it through to weather@wintv.com.au. Let's have a look at the details from today. A few showers about the region again today, with around 7 millimetres falling at Ulladulla since 9 a.m. It saw a top of 21 degrees. Kiama's strongest wind gust was 56 kilometres an hour, a top of 23 for Picton after 15 overnight. On the south coast, winds reached 46 kilometres an hour at Bateman's Bay, which saw a high of 22 degrees, 21 the top for Narooma after a low of 16, while Bega stretched to 23. Taking a look at the rainfall in the 24 hours to 9 a.m, Foxground picked up a whopping 97 millimetres, with 58 into the gauge at Bateman's Bay. On the satellite, a trough through the far northeast will clear the state late this evening. On the synoptic, we can see a ridge of high pressure will build along the coast in its wake. A partly cloudy day on the waters tomorrow, with winds gusting between 10 and 20 knots. Taking a look at the forecast for the Illawarra and Southern Highlands, partly cloudy with just the slight chance of an early morning shower along the coastal fringe. Bulleye slipping to 18, heading for a top of 23, 25 the forecast high for Nowra, and 11 to 23 the temps at Goulburn. Much the same in the forecast for the south coast. Maruya Head slipping to 15 overnight, heading for a top of 23 throughout the day, 25 the forecast high at Bega, while Merimbula and Eden will each slip to 14 and head for 24. For Wollongong, partly cloudy tomorrow. Sunrise will be at 6:41 a.m, with the sun setting at 7:36 p.m, a top of 23 after 18 degrees overnight. And taking a look at the days ahead, sunny on Wednesday, overcast for the first day of autumn with a slight chance of a shower, and partly cloudy with some possible drizzle again on Friday. So Geoff, one last glimpse of sunshine before summer's out.
Autumn is coming. Tanya, thank you. And that is Win News for Monday the 26th of February. To view some of our reports, visit the Win News Illawarra Facebook page. I'm Geoff Phillips. Coming up next is The Project. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, regional Australia's #1 news source.